Alright, just checking the audio quick, and then we should be good to go. Alright, just checking the audio. Alright. Give everybody a minute to get in. Yeah, that's going to be a no from me on the restarting to upgrade my Windows right now. Their Windows, I'm in the middle of something. It's just, could you not? Alright. Starting to upgrade. Oops. Alright. Alright, so let's just jump on into it as we are here in the final week of the preseason 6 week little gauntlet that I had set up for myself where I would talk about things going on in the league and what's happening here and there, blah, 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 because we are now done. Everything has been decided. The draft order has been decided. What we're doing for incentives and everything like that has been decided. The only thing that hasn't been decided yet are a few things that we're going to talk about today. But once those get hammered out this weekend and this week, man, it's gonna be nice to be able to just sit back and not have to do anything until after the draft when I have to enter in everyone's draft picks and redo the schedule. And all right, so I got some work left to do. But for now, welcome to Horsehead Weekly, week number 6 of the preseason for the 2019 Horsehead League. Uh, how's everybody doing today? We are here, and breaking news: Andrew Luck's calf is apparently a problem, and so is his ankle. So that's fun. Uh, thanks for starting off with a downer on that one. Anyways, let's just jump into it. Preseason week number 6, and so we've done week 1 through 5. All those are taken care of. They all look great. Week number 6, that's what we got on the docket for today. It is the divisional alignment, scheduling, and draft position reveal. So, uh, pretty self-explanatory as to what those things are. I'm not going to waste any time on that. And just to break it down a little bit better, this week we're going to recap last week's decisions, talk about divisional alignment, so who's going to be in whose division, how we're going to handle that, how we're going to handle scheduling, as in who's going to play who what week, how are we going to handle that, because that's a pretty big deal, because we have a neat little feature that Yahoo offers that ESPN did not, and I wanna try to make some use of it if I can. And then finally, we will have the draft position reveal, so everyone will know where they are drafting, what position they got, who got screwed, who got some really good luck by getting their best position, even though they were like really really not supposed to because they're near the back end of the picks. But hey, that's how it goes. So some people get lucky, some people get screwed, and I know which one I was. So that is what is going on for this week. So as always, we got to go fast. I'm just going to let this little man run for a second. He's so damn cute. I love him so much. All right. I see we got Jerry in the chat, so that's at least one person. That makes it worth it for me to do this live instead of having to upload it on YouTube after. If the stream crashes, feel free to let me know because Time Warner sucks. So for the preseason recap, this is what I've been going over every day, so let's go over it one more time. The draft date is Saturday, August 24th, 8 p.m. EST at Malcolm's house. It will be a draft, no keepers, and it will be hosted on Yahoo for the league itself. The draft will be on Clicky Draft, as and I will get that information out to everybody next week so that everybody who isn't going to be able to be there live can log on and can try it out and make sure they understand what's going on it. And you can always, shoot us texts or smoke signals or however else you want to communicate with us as to who you want your draft pick to be. And but some new stuff here. We have the incentives. So we have the $50 for the fight from 50. We have the $50 eliminator, and now we have the $50 roto, as was what we just did. So we decided on that today. I kind of forgot to go back to it last week because we were worried about a bunch of other stuff going on, but that's fine. So we will be doing the $50 roto, which basically is what we did last year, but instead of having it be 10 individual positions, which is a bit of a pain, we will instead be doing it as one big $50 chunk to the winner, basically giving you another chance if you, let's say, you always have just terrible quarterback back play, so you never end up being able to do anything that well in the season, but the rest of your positions are stellar, or you think you're just getting some bad luck here and there. Here's another way for you to try to dig your way out of it with another $50 incentive. So that's $150 in incentives for teams, so you can't complain about bad luck anymore. You can literally make more money than you put into the league if you have the best team in the league. It's the freaking best, but you just have some bad luck. So just shut your mouths, and that's what's going on. And then the final thing, and I highlighted it, I put it in bold on the bottom there, dues are owed by September 3rd, or penalties will start. So, you know, that's super important. Please, please, please don't make me have to implement penalties on people. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. It might be docking points from people. It might, so your team just, you just lose 3 points every week for the rest of the season on your team. I feel like that's a good enough incentive to have your money in. Now, of course, I understand people have other stuff going on in their lives. They have other obligations. Uh, I understand that you can't get all the money in at once sometimes. So please come to me ahead of time, and by ahead of time, I mean ASAP, and not on September 3rd be like, oh, by the way, I don't have the money. That's way too late. Get to me very soon and say, look, I'm not going to be able to get it on September 3rd. This is what I can get you today. I'll work out a payment plan with you, but if you start messing up on that, then I will implement the penalties, and I'll do them retroactively if I have to, because screw you and for making the rest of the league have to not maybe have all the money it's supposed to. Who knows? So that is the preseason recap. Now I'm just gonna just talk about the roto really quickly. So it'll be the same as last year, where each position is ranked by how many points you score over the course of the season. But at the end of the season, you will then get points based on what position you are. So if you're in first place, you get 15. Second, you get 12. Third, you get 10. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So, and then all of those will be added up. So if you come in first in everything, that's 150 points because it's 10. Is it 11 now? It's 11 now. Okay, so it's more. It's 165 because we had an 11th position because kickers exist, which is horrible. But yeah, so first through 12th, that's how you have it set up. Um, and you get points. Whoever has the most points at the end of the season. So this isn't by week. It is at the end of the season. I will say who's in first, they get 15 points. That's how it's going to go. In case you were wondering, I borrowed this from a very sophisticated scoring system, the Mario Kart Wii scoring system, because they have 12 racers, and I figured this would be a good way to carry it over. Because I wanted to give first place a little bit more of an incentive than just getting 12 points or 11 points. Because I feel like if you come in first place, you should get a bit more of a reward. And I think last place should get 0, and this just worked out really well. So the weekly topic this week, the first one, divisional alignment. And I am not entirely sure how to handle this because this is very subjective. This is basically who do you want to play twice over the course of a season? And now it may be really easy to look at teams that you don't think are going to be that good, or players that you're like, oh, well, James is going to come in seventh, so I want to play him twice because that gives me 2 chances to play someone in the bottom half. But at the same time, you want to also be playing people who are, maybe a little bit better, so you can maybe try to knock them down. And you also want to be playing people because you are going to be playing them twice. You want to play people that you are closer to. You don't want to be playing people who you don't know that well, or that you're just kind of, this is the only interactions you have with them. So it makes the alignments a little bit weird. So, for example, Jerry, Mark, and Doug. Doug doesn't really know anybody else that well. I don't know how much he's interacted with anybody else here, but he knows Jerry and me. So that makes that division really good for Doug. Now we could put Doug in a different division. He could not be with Jerry and I. But then it's a little bit harder to because who's gonna shit talk him and stuff like that. I mean, I guess we can put it with Malcolm and have Malcolm because Malcolm shit talks everybody in his division. But then we'd be breaking up the triplets, and I don't think we want to be doing that. So I'm not really sure what to do with divisional alignment. That's basically what I'm getting down to here. So if anybody has any idea as to what you want to change, I think I might have accidentally switched two people in the bottom divisions. I think maybe Nick wasn't in the uh, Matt and Dave's group. I think he might have been in the other group, but I might have switched stuff up. I'm sorry if that's the case. But maybe I can switch Steve and Nick, whatever we want to do. I don't really care. But this is something you guys have to talk about in the chat because I don't know how to realign people. I understand we've been playing the same two people or the same people twice for a couple years now, so it might be nice to really maybe freshen it up a little bit, move some people around, maybe break some of these familiar groups. But you guys got to let me know who you want in your divisions, how you want to handle that, and that is a topic for Slack, not a topic for me right now. Uh, to just like make a decision and be like, here's a couple options because I don't really know. I don't know your guys' lives. I don't know who you enjoy spending time with and who you enjoy shit talking. So just let me know. So that is the first weekly topic. The second one is scheduling because in Yahoo they have this thing called rivalry weeks, which is really cool because it doesn't actually change anything, but it's still a thing. So I need to explain what that means. So rivalry weeks are basically it just says, hey, week number 10 or week number 3 or whatever week you choose is a rivalry week. You're playing your rivals in the league. Now for randos that doesn't really matter, but for us I think that's a really cool idea. We can have 1 week in the season where we get to sit there and say, "Ah, yes, I'm going to play my rival, somebody who is like who I consider my rival in this league. Who is the person who I am, most excited to play in a given year? Who's the person I'm most excited to be able to shit talk against?" And I feel like that's a cool little feature that we can have. And there's a few different ways that we can use it. The first option is we just pick a week in the middle of the season. So we pick like week 6, for example, and we just say week 6 is going to be our rivalry week. So I ask everybody, please give me your top 3 rivals. Who are your top 3 players? Who you want to play, who you'd really like to play against? I think that'd be kind of cool to give people a chance to, pick who their rival is and stuff like that. And it can be somebody in their division, somebody not in their division, because it's a random week in the middle of the season. And then that week, everyone plays their rivals. And now, of course, if I pick Malcolm to be one of my top 3 as my rivals, and a bunch of other people pick Malcolm's a popular guy. Who knows? Maybe he'll end up being with somebody else, and I'll have to be sad. At least I have 2 other people I can get, and so it's not that big of a deal. And maybe next year I can be rivals with Malcolm. But for this year, I'll be rivals with, let's say, Jerry, because he's my division anyways. So it means a lot. And on top of all of that, he's the guy who brought me in the league, who made you guys have to put up with me year after year. So that is one of the options. The other option I came up with is make the last 3 weeks of the season all rivalry weeks. Because in the last 3 weeks of the season, the way I set up the league every year is the last 3 weeks you will play 2 games against a divisional opponent. You will always play 2 weeks against somebody in your division because I want those last 3 weeks to be meaningful. I want those last 3 weeks to be 3 weeks against divisional opponents so that way the last 3 weeks mean a lot because you could be 2 games back and then you suddenly play 2 people in your division, you win both those games, all of a sudden you could be in the hunt again. So that's why I have that set up. So if you give me your top 3 rivals that aren't in your division, what I can try to do, and the logistics of this might not be the best, but what I can do, hey, thanks for the follow. What I can do instead is I can have you play divisional opponent, and then a rival. So, for example, let's say I go after Malcolm again. I'm just picking Malcolm because he's the guy who popped in my head. Sorry, guys. No offense to everybody else. So I play Doug, I play Jerry, and I play Malcolm. Those are 3 rivalry weeks because it is 2 people in my division and also a person who I consider a quote unquote rival. Or I can play Nick because and that'll be the people who are impossible to trade with bowl. Like we can come up with cool names for the 6 additional games that happen over the course of those weeks. Um, we can have like the Good Hair Bowl or the Burrito Bowl. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there that we could come up with names for things. I think that'd be a really cool idea to have. I mean, we could do some cool stuff with it. But for now, this is up to you guys. Which way do you want to do it? Or option number three, which I don't have listed because it's pretty obvious that it's out there, we could just ignore rivalry weeks existing, or I could just pick one random week and just be like, oh, it's rivalry week. Just talk shit to this random person that you were happened to be assigned against. Um, I mean, it's up to you guys how you want to handle it. But that'll be a discussion in Slack. I think it's a really cool option though, because it doesn't affect anything. But I think it's pretty cool to just kind of be like, hey, let's just shit talk each other. I think this is a good time. So that is the scheduling options, and now we're on to the reason that everyone is watching for the first time all season. The reason that we are all here. It is the draft order. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Oh, I mean, I know who is who, but I still it's exciting to me. So just to go over again, these were the final standings after the big soccer time phenomenon, um, the World Cup. That's what it's called because that's a reasonable name for it. The World Cup. So the draft order is reflective of the World Cup. Not as in 1-to-1, so it's not like Mike gets the number one pick because he had the United States. What I mean is he got to pick first. You all know how this works. This is more for in case anybody stumbles across this and wondering what the hell I'm babbling about. So this is how everybody went down. Congratulations to Mike on luck sacking his way into the United States, despite having a 2% chance or 2.5% chance. It was freaking low. Congratulations, Mike, on luck sacking your way into the United States. And so this is the order that people were able to pick in. And I have some quick stats because I don't want to give away right away. I don't want to. You guys got to work for it. I'm not gonna just give it away in the first slide, or even the second slide. I'm a 3 slide before I give in type of guy. You know what I mean? So you gotta wait one more slide before I really get into it good. So four interesting stats that I found out. Uh, the got what they want. 7 teams actually got their favorite option. I was amazed by this. Uh, 7 teams sat down and said to themselves, yeah, no, I want this pick. And they freaking got it. Which just goes to show, I think Jerry said it earlier in chat, there isn't really a bad option as to where to pick this year. There's just alternative options. Um, because you have like the big four running backs, and then you have a couple really good wide receivers. But if you go all the way to the back end, then you have some also really good wide receivers. So you get that, so you get the ability to go boom and then take another one on the way back through. Or maybe you're a little bit towards the back, so you can get somebody and wrap it around and pick up maybe, like a Nick Chubb or, somebody like that coming on the way back, somebody who you're like really into. Um, somebody who gives you a Chubb. I'm just saying. Malcolm, I know what your plan is. You're going to go OBJ into Nick Chubb. We all get it. It's fine. You can enjoy yourself. You can do what you want with your Chubb. No one's going to stop you. But yeah. So that's what's going on. 2 teams, however, did not get what they wanted. One team got their absolute worst pick, and one team got their second to last pick. So just because you're seeing, 7 teams got their favorite option, that looks good for me, it might not be as good for you as you think. And then 2 other things I realized: the favorite spot, the 4th pick. I saw the 4th pick coming up a lot. A lot of people wanted their 4th pick. A lot of people wanted to do that cool stuff there and have, why is everybody just, oh boy. Did I put on emo only chat or something? I'll take it though. It's cool. So everyone wanted the 4th spot. I don't think anyone wanted the 8th spot. I think the 8th spot was just a spot people wound up in because it's in that nebulous zone after those top. Because there's I think there's clearly 7 top talents, and then there's the people who you want on the turn so you can get 2 of. And I think no one really wanted the 8th spot because it's the first of that. But I don't know. Could just be me. Who knows? Who knows? Uh, well, yeah. So that's what's going on here. And so yeah, so let's get into it. Let's get into the draft order reveal. So yeah, so let's see let's see who is the most skilled person here. Uh, and that person, of course, as we all know, was Mike. He had the first overall pick. And what did he choose to go with? He decided he wanted to be number one. He didn't want to risk it. He sat down and he said, if every position is basically the same, I want to be the guy who gets the pick whoever the hell he wants. So he went for number one. He grabbed it, and yeah, he made it work. He is the number one guy. So so yeah, congratulations. He went number one, and yeah. So let's see who is number two. And number two is Steven. He went number two. So very easy. This isn't, I know last year it was similar. Last year it seemed like everyone wanted to be near the front of the draft, and the first like 7 people were just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This year it looks like that, but it's about to change. It's about to get wacky, kids, because number one pick was number one, number two pick was number two, and then number three, Malcolm. Malcolm went after number 11, and I think, as I alluded to earlier, I know why. I think what he wanted to do is he wanted to go out and he wants to get OBJ at 11, come on back, grab Nick Chubb, do what he needs with him. I think it's a good time. I think he's gonna have fun with this draft. So Malcolm ends up with the third pick, picks number 11. Then we have Jerry. Jerry swoops in and he takes number 10. So far, nobody has selected anything but their first pick. The top four all got their number one. There was no friction. Mike wanted 1, Steve wanted 2, Malcolm 11, Jerry 10. Cool. Everyone's getting what they want. Let's see what happens. And number 5 gets what they want. Doug going after well, if I pick 6th, I'll probably get Devontae Adams strategy. At least that's my opinion. I think that's where he's going with this. I mean, why else would you want to be pick number 6 besides sitting there to pick up your Devontae Adams? So yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think he ended up getting somebody he wanted, and of course because he got the pick that he said was his number one option. So that is 1, 2 through 5. For the first time, someone didn't get what they wanted. It was Dave. I believe Dave said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or whatever. So he ends up getting pick number 3. He is getting one of those big, maybe 3 if Zeke ends up holding out too much longer. Running backs. So he is locked at getting one of those. So he is in a pretty good position as well. And then Nick comes in, and of course, because he's Nick, he gets what he wants. Even though he was picking 7th in order, he gets the 4th pick, and that's pretty sick for him. So congratulations on Nick. You get your first option. You get to pick 4th. This is when the wheels come off. This is when the wheels start to come off. James got his 5th option, getting pick number 5, which leads to some very interesting stuff happening in the draft, because James being able to pick 5th as a Packers fan means he has the option of sniping Adams from Doug 1 pick early. How crazy is that? That's going to be some drama on draft night. Some draft night drama. I'm going to enjoy it. I know this is going to be a good time, which means I got my worst pick. I literally had, I forget what my order was, but basically, you see the 8 people before me, they picked what they wanted, and then I got freaking 9th because it was my 9th option. I don't want to be 9th. I want to be 10 or 11 or 4 or 6 or 5 or 3, 2, 1. Here I am stuck at number 9. And as he said in chat, Matt M, yes, you did get your number 1 pick by some goddamn miracle. You got your number 1 pick despite picking 10th. So congratulations to you. That was quite something. You get to be on the corner. You get to go back to back at the end of the first round. So congratulations to you on that. Which means that we then have Matt S., who ended up getting. I don't think he actually had his 11th pick. He did get pick number 8 though. And then finally we have Sean, who didn't even submit anything, so we got his 0th pick. He's stuck with number 7, which is, in that nebulous zone that is kind of a little icky. So to show off what this looks like, when I sort everybody and put them in order, we have Mike, Steve, Dave, Nick as your top 4, James, Doug, Sean, Matt S. in the middle of the rounds, and then at the tail end of the round, we have a murderer's row of Mark, Jerry, Malcolm, and Matt M. Honestly, from Matt S to Matt M, that is like everyone in this league is good. I'm not trying to put anybody down, but like every single year, Matt S drafts an absolutely bomb team. Jerry is always taking people who are absolutely fantastic. Matt M always looks really good out of the gates. Malcolm always a stud at fantasy football, and then I'm there, and I would like to think that I'm pretty damn good at what I do as well. So we have a absolute pile of death just sitting in the corner over here. Not where I wanted to be, not the people I wanted to be around, but when I locked in my draft picks, I had to stick with what I got, and so there I am at number 9. So congratulations, everybody. Here is your draft order. For the 2019 Horsehead Fantasy Football Draft. Yeah, the gauntlet is a good name for it. That corner is an absolute freaking gauntlet. So in case anyone wanted a peek behind the curtain, this is what the selection process looked like. Steve only gave me one option. He said he just wanted to be second because Mike had let him know ahead of time that he was going to be number 1. Dave ends up getting his 3rd overall pick, which was pretty nice, considering he just went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. So he ends up getting there. And then, as you can see, the 3 long red lines, James, myself, and Matt S. just not great luck this year. So that is how the selection process ended up going. This is where everyone thought the best picks were, and as you can see, it's a lot of variety, and some interesting strategies. But I think it's pretty good. I think we did pretty good this year. So for the votes this week, we will have 4. The first, what are the divisions? So I would like to go over those first, figure out who wants to be in what division. Are we changing divisions? Are we keeping the divisions as they are now or as they were? We'll figure that out as the week goes on. Are we doing rivalry weeks? And if so, what are the rivalry weeks? Are we doing the 1 week in the middle of the season, or are we doing the thing where we get a couple different options, sprinkled about at the end of the season there with those last 3 weeks? And you get to play 3 rivalry weeks, 2 against divisional opponents, 1 against a non-divisional opponent. And then number 4, who are the rivals if we choose to do rivalry weeks? I think that'll be a pretty cool thing to see. And of course, so no one has their feelings hurt, what'll happen with this is we will have everybody send me the your list of your top 3 rivals, or however many you have, or if you don't care. And then once I've acquired enough people who have asked for people to be rivals, I will pair people up, and so that way nobody can sit there and be like, well, only one person wanted me to be their rival. No one's going to be able to find that out. Also, please consider when you're sending me rivalries, things like if you're the only person who knows somebody who's in the league, at least closely. Like I know that, if we end up doing it at the end of the season, it's going to be, I can't pick Doug, but I would be leaning towards picking Doug for my rival if we pick the mid-season one because, he doesn't know anybody else in the league as well as I do. So that's a good option to do that. So just keep that in mind. But that's what we're doing right now. We're having that discussion, figuring out how we're going to handle this. Then we have a vote on Friday, and I think that'll be a good time to do that. And So yeah, so everyone, I will see you in Slack very shortly. And then we will have it and start talking about how you want division stuff to be handled, and we'll have a vote at the end of the week. Next week will be the draft preview show where I call out some people who are probably going to get drafted too early, who's going to draft them, and why they're dumb for what they're doing. And so with all that, I will see you guys next week. Thanks for stopping by, and yeah, bye-bye.